audio test. Oh, hi there. I'm Drew and welcome to my shop. If you're one of the 12 people that watched my last shop tour video, you might be asking yourself, Drew, you just did a shop tour video in May. Why are you doing another one already? Well, two reasons. One, a lot has changed since May, and two, I would like to get in the habit of doing a shop tour video every January just to see what's changed and what I've decided to move around and adjust. So join me on another shop tour. It's going to follow the same pattern around the shop that I did last time to keep it sort of the same as before so you can follow along a little bit easier. And after you watch this, go back and see what I did before and see just how very different everything is. Real quick up front, and I hate to be that guy, but as you'll see at the end when I talk about it, one of our goals this year is to grow on YouTube. So if you're not already, please like and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and please leave a comment with something you see in my shop that you would either change or an idea that you like that you might implement in your shop. It would really help me out. Thanks. Now, while an awful lot has changed, a lot has also stayed the same. For instance, that shelf I talked about last time, it stayed there. I said before I was gonna put some nice doors on it to keep the dust out. Enough that I can build a door over the front of that and keep hopefully all the dust out. Good job, Drew. Way to make some progress. On the other hand, I've completely revamped my entire miter saw station. Let's go check it out. You can see here that what I've done in the last 7 months is hang a roll of edge banding from one end, which I'll get to later. It's a project I'm working on right now. And most importantly, added a sticker. That's all that's changed over there. Now, one thing that has changed in this corner of my shop, joking aside about the miter saw station, is that I moved this metal shelf into the corner. It's still storing some scraps, so I did clear some stuff out and make room for new stuff. But before it was blocking me getting around this side of my garage, and now it's simply out of the way. Right in the corner, not taking up any more space or any more usable space. And now I can get to what I need over here and still get around this side, which has been very important for me. Another change that I promised last year that actually came true is I sold my benchtop joiner. I got it out of here about a month ago, just recently, and actually replaced it, if you can count it as a replacement, with this hollow chisel mortiser from Grizzly. While it is a very cool tool to have and got me into mortise and tenons a little bit more, I actually on my last project ended up hand cutting all my mortises. So while this has been fun to have in the shop, I don't know how long it's going to live here, though I suspect I'll at least keep it for a couple more years because it does come in handy. My jigsaw is still here, and my planer is still here as well, because this thing's not going anywhere for a while. I'm going to upgrade this eventually, but it's going to be a big upgrade. I'm not getting a Sheelix head. I'm going with a full floor model planer when I eventually do upgrade. So this will be here for quite a while, because that's going to be a big step. A couple other big changes over here are the lumber rack on the wall. That's taken up a lot of the lumber that I had all over the floor, organized it on the wall, got it up out of the way, and it's easier to get to now, in addition to taking up less floor space, and that's nice. Also, I finally got my air cleaner hung from the ceiling instead of sitting on top of that metal shelf like I had it last time. Big difference. And I was also able to run the cord to that up into the attic where the garage door opener is plugged in. So that frees up an outlet for me as well, and that's a great improvement. Now moving along this alley that I can now walk through back here. In addition to what I have stored on the walls, I have an abundance of wood in the corner. All that cherry, I've talked about it in the last couple videos for the joinery bench and the coffee table. All that cherry came from a friend of mine, gave it to me. He didn't have any use for it, and it was in a house that he had moved into out in the shed. So I have that now to work with. These two pieces are walnut. And right now I have a bunch of poplar milled up and stacked and stickered. Those will be our new kitchen cabinets, which will be the new project starting this year. Any day now, actually, I'll be getting to start that. And then I have a lot of the 4/4 cherry I got from him has already been surfaced on 2 sides, and it's ready to be used whenever I come across the project I need it for. Another fantastic addition since last time is the joinery bench that I just made. Now it's pretty simple, has a 3-inch thick top and a moxon vise on the front. I have a full YouTube video on this as well if you want to check that out. The bottom's all 2x2 and 2x3 scrap construction lumber that I used up, had laying around the shop and just wanted to get it out of here. So this was a great way to make a nice stout bench, something for me to chisel on, cut dovetails with the moxon vise. just make some of those things a lot easier than they were before. A couple new changes are the tool wall and the sticker wall. Sticker wall, I also have a video on YouTube for. I know a lot of people that do sticker swaps. They just put their stickers on the side of their tools or cabinets or whatever like that. I wanted to make something that could move with me. I could take it down, put it up somewhere else, and I wouldn't lose all those stickers that I collected from other makers and woodworkers. So I came up with something relatively cheap that would be a little bit more timeless than just sticking it to the side of a tool wall cell in a couple years. So if you want to see that video, go check that out as well. But the tool wall is one of my newest additions. And the idea behind it is that if I'm doing videos talking to camera, I have a little bit more of a professional background behind me. Granted, I have a lot of space up here I still need to fill. Hopefully I'll get that filled this year, but I don't want to buy tools too quickly either until I actually need them. Moving around from there, I still have my filing cabinet, which I picked up after the last video, my table saw sleds over there against it, and then the hot water heater, which obviously isn't going to get moved very easily. And now I have my trio of storage shelves in this corner. You might remember the spray can rack that I had before is my spray can and finish storage, where I also had a couple bottles of glue and a couple finishes in there and things like that. That has now been spread out a little bit. Still has some of the rattle cans that I just can't get rid of, just in case you never know when you need a can of red spray paint for another shop project or something like that. This has been taken over by some of my sandpaper. I use a lot of 3M extract, so those fit perfectly on the shelves as well, so it's using those. And I have build video and plans for both this Type Bond shelf and a smaller version if you don't use as much as I do. But I got my paper towels here, room for gallons and all the different size bottles, and holds every adhesive I need right on one shelf, and that's pretty handy. A smaller but still very useful item, I also made a YouTube video on this, is storage for all my saw blades. So this has cutouts and is labeled for each of my saw blades that I use in my table saw, and that way they're all stored right here without having to hang them on something or dig through them as much. They're all readily available. Stick my finger in the hole, pull it out. Usually I pull it out so I'm not rubbing it up against my electrical cord, so don't comment on that. But they're all right there and ready to go. And if you watch my last shop tour video, you'll note that I talked about how very temporary this outfeed table is. Right in the middle of the shop, I have my table saw and this very temporary outfeed table is with 2 sawhorses and a piece of plywood. Yeah, it's still here. I still haven't finished my plans for what I want to do for this, but it's still working just fine, so I'm not in a rush to get to it. And I have a pile of what's going to turn into drawers soon for our kitchen remodel that I talked about with the edge banding. So I'm pretty excited to get started on that. The pieces are all cut to rough dimension. And at this point, I'm just waiting to get my dado stack back from the sharpener so I can get really started on that. As for the state of the channel, what we did this year, what we expect to come this year, or this coming year, new website launched on December 30th. My goal with that is, one, I want a place where I can put all my links to both companies I'm working with and products I like, as well as all my affiliate links for everything I use, from tools to consumables you might go through, like figure 8 brackets, sandpaper that I use, all that stuff. So if you see me using something in a video, there'll be one page you can go to and see exactly what it is, and if you're interested in trying it out, you can get it for yourself. I'm also considering launching sort of a blog style part of the website, and what that'll entail is I started reading some woodworking books. I'd like to review those, give my thoughts, let you know if I feel like, as sort of an amateur hobbyist, if they're worth it to help you grow your craft, or if they're just a waste of time. So I'll be honest about those. You'll be able to read those and maybe just write some updates on what we have going on here, what I'm working on, and how maybe some behind the scenes on how I felt about some of the builds. So if you would like to see more stuff like that, please let me know. I know blogs are kind of not as popular as they used to be. Everyone's just doing video content. But if you see some value in that, please let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. Additionally, we now have merchandise. We have one of the shirts on now under my apron. We have t-shirts available, hats available. We also have the knit caps available with the same leather patch on them, and stickers are all available in the store on the website right now. I also have plans, like I mentioned, for the Titebond shelf, the smaller version of the Titebond shelf. If you want to look at actually work from plans to build that, I'll tell you that the larger shelf takes exactly half a sheet of plywood and the smaller shelf takes exactly a quarter sheet of plywood. So I did that specifically to not only hold a certain number of each size bottle, but use very little resources to do it. In the last year, I've gone from all pocket holes to mortise and tenon, dovetails, more box joints, getting into just more traditional joinery, as well as with the mission style walnut console table, I'm getting into some traditional design as well. So I really hope to expand that more, grow into that, and keep learning more and expanding my skill set as well. Getting more into hand tools, I hope to continue that this year, and I'm really looking to grow YouTube. That's my main focus moving into this year. If you're seeing this on YouTube, fantastic. Thank you for watching, and please do consider subscribing. I know everyone begs for subscribers, but especially up to that 1,000 subscriber mark, it really helps us out. If you're not following me on social media, please do that as well. It also is a huge help. I do have some new tools I'm excited about coming in the shop soon. We should have a bandsaw here in about a week. I'll have some content out on that. I'm really excited to have one because I don't have one, and some of that cherry needs resawed, so I'm looking forward to having that as a huge addition for us. I'm also hoping to do at least one more giveaway this year. It was a lot of work doing one last year when I hit, I think it was 45,000 on Instagram, but I had a lot of fun doing it. We had a lot of great companies pitch in some stuff to give away, and some great makers got some great tools and products to use in their shop. So I'm hoping to put another one of those together this year. We'll just see what milestone makes sense for that and who I can get on board for it. So in summary, I just want to thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your support over the last year, and I hope you all have a fantastic 2023.